Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for taking the time to be present with me and for the next 30 minutes or so. I'm here to deliver a very short presentation on our live guided language immersive experiences here at the VICI Language Academy, which are going to take place in Italy, France, and Spain in the spring of 2026. So tonight isn't about selling you a holiday. It's about explaining how at Vici we design language immersions that really work. So let me ask you a question. If you had 1 week to really improve a language, would you choose to sit in a classroom every day or travel, visit places, and hope that the language would stick? You see, most immersion programs choose either one or the other. At Vici, we build our retreats or decided to build our retreats because we felt that neither works on its own. What we want to offer are very much guided, and I'll explain why later, language immersion experiences grounded in how languages are actually learned when you are immersed in them. So for me tonight, it's very much about a brief info session for about 30 minutes. And then what would be lovely is for you to email me any of your questions, and I've put my personal email address in the chat box because if you are considering joining one of our immersion programs in France, Spain, or Italy, then let's have a chat. Very happy to jump on a call, very happy to organize an online coffee because I'm currently in the French office, so we're unlikely to be able to meet face to face, but I would be very happy to do that so you can decide for yourself if those immersive experiences are right for you. So let us begin. So, who we are and why that matters. Vici is not a travel agency, it's not a tour operator, it's not an event organization. We are a language academy, and we have been a language academy for the last 23 years. We have two language academies in the UK, in the county of Berkshire, one in Newbury and one in Windsor. We focus on five core languages: English as a foreign language, French, Italian, Spanish, and German, but we actually teach 10 languages. Now, we've also been coaching people with online language programs for the past 10 years. We invest heavily in a virtual classroom so our students can be coached online by our in-house, highly qualified and experienced, may I add, language coaches. But we also, all year long, research other professional digital platform that we can share with our learners for self-study material that we believe are really going to enhance their learning. So the reason why I'm saying all of this is because for the last 23 years, what we've done all day and every day is helping people develop their language skills. So we know a thing or two about language acquisition and language immersion. Now, there are many different language schools out there with lots of different methodology. At Vici, we decided to focus on one-on-one coaching. We believe that a very personalized approach that matches our students' communicative style and lifestyle as well works best. But we also wanted our students to be able to live the language. And if they are going to be studying with a language coach, then we wanted them to meet with a community of like-minded people abroad to live the language and experience that wonderful language community. And that really is how our retreats were born over 10 years ago. Now, there is, of course, an important team behind the organization of these immersive experiences. It's just me tonight because it's a little late, but Vici is a team of around 30 linguists. And on this picture here with me, you have Josephine, who coordinates everything to do with the logistics of our programs. We do have program leads in each country. Here you have just below my picture, you have Judith, who plans all the Spanish language programs. Then to the far right, you have Corinna. Corinna is actually our academic director who oversees all the language programs. You have Annetta with the beautiful red hair below who manages our team support. So there are plenty of people behind the scene. But the reason why it's very important for me to mention these people is because we are a team of linguists. And this is something that I am extremely proud of. We coach people, we have studied languages, we have lived abroad, we have been part of research team. No one at Vici does not know what it's like to learn a foreign language, and that is very important to us in the service that we deliver to people who choose to come on our immersive programs. And I also want to add very briefly that we are a British Council accredited school. Now, this is for a focus on English as a foreign language, but I do believe that it reflects the seriousness and quality of our language programs. So, what actually changes when you learn a language when taking part in an immersive program? So, I just want to stop on all of this for a quick second. Language immersion, well, this seems obvious, but we're talking about immersion without pressure. People who come on those programs gain confidence because they're supported, they're not being pushed. There's a real sense of community and connection, which I spoke about a second ago. People feel safe, therefore they speak, and it feels good to be amongst like-minded learners, so it works. There's a real, of course, friendships are created, and there's a real emotional, sorry, connection to it. Now, emotions, when you learn a foreign language, make the learning stick way more than memorizing a long list of vocabulary. As a matter of fact, about 2 months ago, maybe, I ran a very similar webinar on language immersion. So if you want to have a chat about it, if you want to watch the recording, please let me know because I will be very happy to share it with you. The cultural richness, what do we mean by that? Language makes sense when it has a context. Everything to do with language learning works best when it's contextual. So that is a real crucial point. Learning in context, surrounded by the rich culture of the country you go to, is like a magic wand when learning a foreign language. And I very much like to talk about personal development because over the last 10 years of running those experiences, I have noticed that many, if not most people, join us because they want to do something for themselves and often want to surprise themselves. So, of course, confidence grows. People start to realize that it's okay to make mistakes when you are learning the language in a real life setting. It's not a classroom environment. No one is a red pen. No one will mark you down if you've made a grammatical mistake. You start to learn that it's okay to be uncomfortable in an environment where you only master perhaps 50%, if that, of the language. And you realize that you will only learn and make good progress if you make mistakes. And from them on, your confidence will grow. So the reason why language immersion works is because it's not left to chance. The reason why those programs work is because they are not left to chance. They are very much thought about and organized in order for all these little bullet points to be part of the program. So again, how does that actually work? There is something that I feel very strongly about, and it's the fact that an immersion program is not so much about the location than it is about the design. You can go and sit in a foreign country for many weeks, many months, many years, and not improve your language skills if it hasn't been thought of for you to become fluent in that language. So what's very important to us at VICI when we design those programs are the structure. We don't want your learning to happen by accident. We want clear objectives. All our students have a pre-retreat consultations with one of our language coaches to determine their level and how they would most like to improve whilst they're on the program. We have level groups. We have qualified language coaches on site with you every day delivering classes, and we always keep to small groups. So to us, immersion doesn't mean that you are going to be thrown in at the deep end. It's part of the game, but doing this for a week will lead to very blur results, if any results at all. That's why we talk about guided immersive programs. Of course, there is a support of a very dedicated team. So, you can let go. You are being very well taken care of. We have teachers, we have organizers, we have coordinators. Everything is being thought of for you. So it's all inclusive and we really want it to be a worry-free experience. As a matter of fact, I have a sweet little anecdote of a lady called Sally, who is actually the wonderful lady with the yellow coat on the picture. She came to 7 of our French retreats. And I remember that one day we had landed at Gatwick and she said, oh, I'm going to have to start to think for myself. I've spent the last 7 days completely worry-free. Everything was organized for me. All I have to do is try to speak French to the best of my ability. So that's a really nice little anecdote, but it does really show that everything is very, very thoughtfully planned for you. As a matter of fact, I will be sharing our web pages with all the details of our 3 retreats in France, Italy, and Spain coming up in March and April. And you can download the agendas so you can see exactly what you will be doing day by day and pretty much hour by hour. Um, and so we talk about structure and we talk about support of the dedicated team. And of course, the idea is to be living the language naturally all day. So your language experience is clearly not going to be limited to lessons. You'll have meals together. We have activities planned for you, a lot of shared moments. Nothing is forced and nothing is about you performing. It's very much about absorbing the language naturally, but in a guided and structured way. We want the language to become part of your day, not something you switch on and off. The idea there is very much to build confidence without pressure. So, Coming up, we have three locations, but really just one learning philosophy. So, as I'm sure you know, we will be going to Florence in Italy in March. We will be going to Salamanca in Spain in April and to Jura in the east of France, beautiful and spoiled part of France, also in March. When we talk about functional language, authentic culture, and rich history, these are the three focus points that my team and I think about all the time when we plan those retreats. The culture and the history are very much why we've decided to be in those places. Add to that very meaningful language. And that's when the entire experience, becomes alive and that you can really experience the language and the culture in a very authentic way. We want you to go to a brewery that a member of our team knows about. We want you to have a VIP evening in a boutique in the same way that local ladies would. Everything that we do is very well researched. It isn't just your standard tourist experience. So rather than go through all the web page with all the details, I will share them with you. But do come back to me with any questions you may have. The France, we have the ladies only retreat in March. This is a long weekend. Italy is all about Florence and Spain is all about Salamanca. For every single one of them, they will be different days out, different cultural activities, but for all of them, there is a format with language classes every day. That's the reason why we want to have a consultation with you before you go, so we know that the language program is being planned very thoughtfully. I also just want to stop for a moment about functional language. This is part of the jargon that we tend to use with my team. So apologies if that wasn't too clear. But that just means being able to communicate with everyday language, with the language that people use every day, normally, local people. That's what it means. And so for us, it's very, very important that when we plan those programs, these are the three pivot that we work with. What functional language do we want our students to learn whilst there? What is it about the particular culture of this part of the world, and how can our students experience it outside of just visiting a museum or talking about it in the language class? What is it that they can do? Could they discover Comté cheese in Jura? Could we take them to a wonderful little factory that we know about? And get them a VIP pass, and the entire tour will be in French with obviously wine tasting at the end. How about pasta making? Could we go to an Italian grandma to make pasta rather than in a large big kitchen when thousands of tourists go every day? What is it that's part of the history of this place that will interest our learners, but that makes its culture today so rich? Everything, every single details is truly being thought of when we put our agendas together. So I will let you read just a couple of testimonials from some of our participants that you've seen on the pictures. All the pictures that you see in this presentation are all very genuine. This is the crew in Valencia a couple of years ago in Spain. Um, Something that I want to highlight because I'm very proud of it. Most people come back It's very rare that people only come once. I spoke to you about Sally, who came 7 times. Val actually is in this picture, has booked all three of our Spanish residential programs. Now, as a matter of fact, they are on this picture. There are one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 people who have been to at least two of the three programs we've organized in Spain. I think this is the strongest proof. So please join us. We do have spaces left for the retreats in the spring of 2026. And as a thank you for being here, we would like to offer you a free consultation, which I've spoken about before. This one will be a lot more in depth. It will be for a full hour, and we will do a full analysis of your current language skills. And we're going to give you a lot of expert advice on how best to learn a foreign language based on your own learner's profile. This normally costs around £85. You can have that for free. If you look at our landing pages, you will see that we had early birds offers, but they've all expired. We will, sorry, reactivate them, but only for the people who were on the webinar tonight. So do ask us for the early bird offers. They are still on the website, simply outdated. And if you decide to book with us by the 15th of January, you'll get an extra £100 off per booking, which means that if 2 of you join, it's still just £100. But nevertheless, add this to the early bird offer, and it will make for a really lovely saving. But hurry up, we don't have that many spaces left. We limit the number of students for the ladies' retreats short weekend to 10, and for Italy and Salamanca to 16 only. We do want to create quite an intimate experience. We want enough people, so there's a good mix of people and friendships can be created, but we don't want a crowd. We want to make sure that we look after every single individual who has decided to take part. So 10 for France and 16 for Italy and Spain. And that's all for me. I had promised that this would be very quick. What I would, however, like to do before I stop this webinar, I just want to give you the details of the retreats. If you go on our web pages, you have every single information that you may need. If not, please reach out to me personally. If you go on our website, thevici.com, if you go under our service, language experiences in Europe, you can click on every single one of them. This is the ladies' retreat in France. You can view the full agenda here. There is, actually, I'll click on it and I will show you. There is an entire brochure with the retreat. There you go. You can see every single day what we do. Okay, so I will let you look at this together, but there are plenty of information here. You'll see the wonderful testimonials from people who've been with us. We've been featured in newspapers and radios. You should have everything that you need here. These are the wonderful ladies who came in March last year. About 2 or 3 of them are coming back for the exact same experience because they've loved it so much. Here we have Florence, beautiful, beautiful Florence. So have a look. Again, you can check here and you will see the full itinerary for the entire program. And here you have, oops, sorry. Oh, I think, oh, let's go there and let's find Spain. There we go. Here we've got um, the Golden City, Salamanca. And again, you have all the different information and the full agenda. So have a look and please do email any of your questions to ndanon, that is N-D-A-N-O-N at the Vici, TheVici.com. Any questions you may have, again, I can answer your questions by email, WhatsApp, or we can grab an online coffee if you so wish. Once again, thank you very much for taking part, and I look forward to speaking to you, and I look forward to welcoming you on one of our wonderful immersive experience in France, Italy, and Spain. Thanks again.